All right. Yo, Dave, so it happened, bro.
It happened.
It happened, man. James Harden is now on the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, we knew he was going to get traded. We just didn't know like it was going to be today. We saw all the rumors coming out and then bang, like everything just happened. So let's kind of take a full look at his breakdown right now. So the full court trade that Shams just tweeted out. We have the Rockets, they get Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, I don't even know this guy. Kirkus, three Brooklyn first rounders, a 22, 24, and 26. A Milwaukee first rounder, which is the 22nd protected. You got four Brooklyn first round swaps as well. And the Nets get James Harden. And then the Cavs get Jared Allen and Taurean Prince. That's pretty good for all these teams involved, honestly. So the Rockets, no more James Harden, so you're moving on. You get Victor Oladipo, though. And you get Dante Exum. And then a bunch of draft picks. So I think that's a win for Houston getting that out of not letting James Harden have the walk or anything like that. Then
Yeah.
the Cavs, they've been playing really well, and they add Jared Allen and Taurean Prince. Jared Allen's one of the best rim protectors in the league right now. But since your team is in the Eastern Conference, the Phillies been balling all year. They've been looking great. How do you feel right now?
Well, I definitely gotta be glad that we're keeping this guy. Get a little action for the back. The Ben Simmons don't. Glad we kept him. Honestly, I was not in favor of trading him for Harden. Obviously, I would love to have had Harden in Philly. Like I would have really loved it. Even if we had to trade Ben, like I would have been skeptical, but I've been hype at the same time. But I think it would have been crazy for us to trade Ben Simmons in the midst of the season that we're having right now with the first seed in hands and all that.
I agree.
Uh, I think we're going to fare all right. I think we're going to give them a competitive chance because we're looking good as a whole unit right now. So, you know what I mean? Like, I was really looking forward to seeing us this whole season with this team, with Doc Rivers and all that.
For sure.
But now the Nets are definitely going to be scary. They're the favorites. It's like they're definitely going to be
Yeah.
the favorites
The
now.
thing was, like, I think the Nets were the favorites even before getting James Harden. So now you add James Harden, and it's just like, but see, I think Philly could definitely still give them a run for their money though, because now Brooklyn has lost some of their depth. That was a huge part of their team. No more Karis LeVert, no more Jared Allen.
Do you
Um,
think? Do you think we see James Harden just slim down like that? Like by the time he gets to
yeah,
Brooklyn, there,
yeah,
he
probably,
just all of a sudden is in
probably.
shape again.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. He's gonna go back into playoff mode because now he knows he's in a situation where he's almost guaranteed a finals trip. I mean, if they don't make the finals, this is a fail. Like
Big
that's a
fail.
big fail if they don't
Big
make the
fail.
finals.
Yep.
And then it's gonna come back. Fans are gonna be looking at, oh, they would have made it to the finals without Harden. Why you draft Harden? So now it's like he's got a lot of pressure too. At the same time, I mean, they all do. And how does this look for KD? He was trying to go to a place and win without a super team. And I don't know if he would have considered the Nets a super team before James Harden got there, but now that he is there, this is one hell of a super team.
Yeah. At least this way, he didn't create the super team himself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he kind of established himself there first. Like, yeah, I mean, all right, dibs here.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I
And
mean?
it's like the
And then they
opportunity.
traded for him.
Yeah, like the opportunity presented itself. If James Harden's just up in the trade market and you have a chance to get him, why not get him? So I can't knock him for that. It wasn't his decision
Absolutely.
for this to
Yeah.
happen.
I mean, the fact that they had the opportunity to do it, how could you not pull the trigger on it? But regardless of that, KD haters will always bring it up. Oh, can't win without Clay, Steph, Harden, um, Kyrie. And how about Thunder fans right now? You know what I mean? It's basically like the old gang minus mine.
Minus
We'll
Westbrook.
interchange Kyrie for the Westbrook thing. So
Yeah,
they probably have to feel some type of way right now.
yeah, for sure. I mean, so somebody in the chat, Mapasa, said James Harden is crazy. Now, why do you feel that? Because he left Houston, or he just wanted to go to Brooklyn? I kind of want to see your reason for why you think he's crazy. So, Dave, like, what do you think about James Harden leaving? I think he did it in a very, like, everything was cool up until just last night when he basically threw his entire team on the bus. That was like mad disrespectful, and
I
it
love
was
it.
not a good look.
Okay,
Nah,
well, all right.
I cannot
I
say a
don't
lot. It was not a good look.
All right. I don't think he necessarily meant to disrespect the guys on the team. I think he meant to disrespect the guys in the organization more so. But all right, this is why I love it. I think he took his own destiny into his own hands, and he said, "Enough is enough. Trade me." Basically, is what you know what I mean. There's only one way to do it: get it right out to the media. You know what I mean? Because just do it. Like, you know what
I
I mean, he
mean,
took
yeah.
his
I mean, the rumors have been going around for a couple months now,
and
but
nothing was happening. And nothing was happening. He was sitting pretty there. He was just letting the Rockets do whatever they wanted. You know what I mean? They were like, "Oh, we're just gonna roll with them." Well, meanwhile, they know James Harden doesn't want to be there.
right,
How are you going to treat your franchise players at one point? He was a franchise player. That's a bad look on their part. You know what I mean? If you're not going to treat your guys right too at the same time. So James Harden had enough. He said, "I'm out.
right.
Trade me."
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind him coming out and say, trade me, but the first words that came out of his mouth in that interview was like, the team's not good enough. Like, straight up, team's not good enough. And that obviously rubbed DeMarcus Cousins the wrong way and John Wall. John Wall was spitting facts. DeMarcus Cousins was like, yo, honestly, I don't even care if he comes back. So clearly he's not a big James
Here's the
Harden
other
fan
reason
right
I love
now.
it too, is for them to, you know what I mean, to actually show out now and ball out. I mean, that's going to add fuel to your fire. But yeah, I mean, on James Harden's part for that team, I love it as a fan though. Like, come on now, that's just like this. You know what I mean? I'm
I
loving
mean,
every
yeah,
second of
nah,
it.
for sure, but it's
But
it's definitely like not the best way to depart from your teammates, I should say. I mean, like obviously he didn't like the new owner and he was not getting along with
right,
anybody in the organization at the time. During this time, but to kind of just throw your teammates under there like that, it just kind of sucks. I mean, maybe he didn't like intend it to be that way, but I mean, he said was like, "Oh, the team's not good enough,"
that
and
was definitely the worst part.
it's kind of ironic that he said that way, especially since he's been playing absolute trash the last 5 games. Whether he's trying or not, he's been playing
Yeah,
like
he's definitely not
straight
trying.
garbage. So, you can
What
clearly tell
damage
he
was
doesn't want
that?
to be there. Literally like 17 points. He's like just shooting up bricks. He's just literally is like, yeah, I'm just gonna play like trash until they trade
Yeah,
me,
for sure.
basically.
He said, "Fuck it."
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny, because we were talking about this in the podcast a couple weeks ago. It's like, when we were talking about what team's gonna make the playoffs, it was like, yo, James Harden, if he's there, he might not want to try. He might not get the team to the playoffs even if they don't trade him.
We left
And
them off the list, right?
yeah, but like
Oh,
we left
okay. All
them.
right. Go for the
I'm
break.
pretty sure we left them off the list, but Nebby was pretty adamant. I put him on there. I was like,
I
I mean,
remember
if
that.
James Harden, I was like, if James Harden's trying, yeah, they'll make the
Yeah,
playoffs. But it's like, what are the odds that he's actually gonna try? Like he is dead set on leaving.
different story for sure.
Yeah, and it kind of it went as we expected. I would say the Houston was not looking like that good. The
Yeah.
record is subpar right now, but I will say that Houston is not in terrible hands right now. Even though James Harden isn't there anymore, you still got
Yeah.
guys like John Wall. DeMarcus Cousins, even though he's not what he was, of course. You got Christian Wood, who's having a breakout season. He's been balling. You just added Victor Oladipo. So, the last time Victor Oladipo went to another team too, the team turned up. Like, so when he first got to Indiana, he started showing out. So let's see if he could do it again. I'm excited to see what Houston can still do with those players. I mean, they still got a tough starting five. You got John Wall at the 1, Victor Oladipo now at the 2. You could put you still got Christian Wood as your power forward or center wherever you put him, and then
Right.
you got DeMarcus Cousins in there if he's starting. He can be the center. Put Christian Wood at the 4, and then I'm not even sure where their 3 is, but I mean that's still a pretty solid starting 5 for the most part.
No, yeah, I like the Rockets team, and then
Mm-hmm.
it also gives you a lot of leniency because you can see what you have this year with your team. You can decide if you want to blow it up this year and use the 8 round draft picks you just got. You know what I mean? And just and
Exactly, and that's
rebuild.
another thing. They got so many draft picks, and they still got nice talent around them. Like Houston,
And if they want to blow it up, they can just draft or trade the John Wall, see what Boogie does. You know what I mean? They have value in that and trade it for more picks. So they want to really just try and go with the young haul like that. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah, man.
John Wall's so good to have on your team.
Yeah, no. I think every team involved really got a win out of this. Like I said, Cleveland too. Cleveland's been playing pretty well. Colin Sexton and Darius Garland have been balling out so far this season. Then you add Jared Allen, who's a great rim protector.
How about the Nets though? Just being like, yeah, we're going for the ring. Like we
Oh, they
don't
win.
care about the
Yeah.
future.
No, they went all
Don't
in.
care about the Nets have no regard for their first round picks. They don't
Nah.
care about them
I
going
mean, well,
back to
you
the
got to
KD.
figure like they just signed KD and Kyrie, so they're going to be there long term. Now you got James Harden and his contract extension. After this, what is it? I think after this season or maybe the next season, he's got to
Yeah,
resign, so he'll
no,
be a
they're
free
fine. Yeah,
agent.
they're fine for their short term future for sure. But
Yeah, but I mean, like their long term, like the next 10-year plan is kind of shot now. But I don't think they really care as much if they can bring in like 2, 3 rings, which is a possibility now having the 3 of them there.
Yeah, this is not the same situation at all, but like at least they have a better situation than they did when they traded for KG and all them for the Celtics and just literally just giving up the whole future just for
Yeah,
that to not work out. Really
especially for
back.
some old heads too. Like,
Jason Terry, Paul Pierce, yeah,
yeah, they were so old at the time, and they thought like that was really gonna turn out to be something special, and they
yeah.
gave up so much. But
Hey, well,
it's
here you go, Nets fans. We're back, and we're
hey,
better.
they're back on track, better than ever. So now they're the favorites out the East.
How do you
I
feel as a Rockets fan right now? Like if you were
How
to
would
put
I
yourself
feel?
in the shoes of a Rockets fan,
I mean, well, I feel like if you're a Rockets fan, you had to have anticipated James Harden being traded now for quite some time. So you should be, should have been mentally prepared for this, that this day was going to come. So it should be like a super shocker, and all the things were revolving around him going to the Nets. Now, if
yeah,
you're a Rockets fan, I think you're still pretty satisfied that you have John Wall, who's playing really well still, even after the injury. I think he's still averaging like 22 points a game, like 6 assists, 6 rebounds, like a really good stat line still. Christian Wood, like I said earlier, is having a breakout season. He's averaging a double double, like 23 and 10. You still got Boogie there. Boogie, he's still getting back into the thick of things. He's had 2 major injuries. And then you just got Victor Oladipo too. Victor Oladipo is also coming off a big injury, but he's still a hooper, of course. And if all these guys can gel and come together and really be on the same page, like John Wall even said, they could still be good, man. Like that roster is good enough to where they could be competing to get into a playoff spot or like one of the play-in spots out west. Because
sure.
out west, I mean, the bottom seed, like the west is very top heavy, and then the bottom seeds are all around like kind of below that 500 mark, and you don't even need to be 500 to get into a play-in spot. So it's a possibility that we can still see Houston getting there. I'm kind of curious to see what is their record right now. I don't think it's like
Right.
terrible. Let me see what it is because I'm curious now. I know I was just looking
Yeah,
at it. Well, so they're 3-6 right now, and then that gives them 14 seed. And then you look at someone like that would be in the play-in, like Sacramento, they're 5-6. So if the Rockets get another 2 wins now, they're over here in the 10 seed. So it's still so much basketball left to be played this season. I mean, if I'm a Houston fan, you have all these picks for the future. I'm happy. I was mentally prepared to lose James Harden already if I'm a Houston fan, and I'm satisfied with how it went out.
for sure. Me too. The fact, I mean, they really gave themselves a lot to work with there, and now it's basically in their hands to sink or swim with that. You know what I mean? Like they
Right.
got a lot of stuff. They only gave up James Harden for that, right? Got eight. Well, like did they get? They may have not gotten all those picks, all the first round picks, but getting Victor Oladipo back and like at
Hmm.
least some of them, fire,
Yeah. No,
big
it
fire.
was it was really great for all teams involved.
Yeah,
I was surprised to see like so many trades going down. I didn't know it was gonna be like any 3-team trade or anything like that.
right.
And it just everything came out at once. So many Woj bombs, so many shams.
Came out. It came out. I mean, but there you go. That's literally what James Harden wanted. Like literally, like do it tonight. Like
Yeah, and they were on that, man. They were
wow.
on.
What do you think, Nets? So we got Nets Lakers
I
finals.
I got the Nets Lakers. Yeah,
It's a
I think
safe
it's gonna
bet.
be the Nets Lakers. Like I
Safe bet.
still Philly's been hooping, man. Like I said, Philly they got a deeper bench now since Philly
Tyrese
kind of
Maxey.
just lost a couple guys. And, they still got Tyrese Maxey who's been hooping, and I think they could be able to compete with the Nets for sure. But how do you stop KD, Kyrie, and James Harden? It's just
Don't
you can't, man. It's just kind of
you
crazy,
have to
dude.
outscore it. Like honestly,
Uh,
you have to
yeah. I mean,
try to slow it down and outscore it. Like
I think Joel Embiid is gonna have a field day against them now, considering there's no more Jared Allen. So
yeah, yeah,
same thing for Ben Simmons. I think the Sixers will dominate the paint
yeah. They're
as
gonna be
well
big body,
as well as the rebounds. I mean, they still got
but also
DeAndre Jordan, but
yeah,
he's
but
not.
also 3 points are better than two, and they're gonna be raining those 3 point shots.
Yeah, for sure. Now it's definitely gonna be tough for. I think the teams that have the best chance of beating them would probably be Philly. I would say the Bucks, but they seem to fold every year. I guess we'll see how they come out this season in the playoffs.
Yeah, now it really seems like the Bucks need even more though. That's for
I mean,
sure.
the only thing I see is like, can they all work well together? Like, is there gonna be a problem? Like, we know Kyrie, we know how they're all ISO players. I don't see them really having any issues if they're gonna come together and go win a ring. I mean, you got like three of some of the best players in the entire world. You got two top 10 players. Well, KD is probably like the second best player in the world right now, if not the best. I mean, he's still hooping coming off the Achilles injury. He looks like he never even got injured, honestly. And
Yeah.
then you have Kyrie, who's been playing phenomenal when he's actually been playing. And that's the thing. What are these locker room issues going to look like? Are they going to be able to come together? What's the culture going to be like?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if the rumors were true, but they were talking about how they didn't really want, or Kyrie didn't even want James Harden to come there in the first place. So,
I remember that.
let's see what happens. But I mean, talent wise and on paper, the Nets got it. Like the Nets,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
just add James Harden to already where you had KD and Kyrie. I mean, come on now, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're gonna see a little bit of it, like kind of like the Boston Celtics kind of thing. It's like Kyrie's still gonna ball, but like he might not love it at the same time. That he's not like, you know what I mean, like one of the primaries
Yeah.
like all the time, basically kind of thing. He wants the ball in his hand. How about Philly with Ben Simmons in their relationship? Because if that's like, I mean, there's obviously gonna be like a ton of rumors flying around. Like maybe
That.
like at some point it might get leaked that Ben was actually in a trade offer or something like that, and then it's like,
Mm,
all right, now Ben might not be so happy in Philly.
yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see when the time comes. But I mean, Daryl Morey made it pretty evident a few weeks ago that he wasn't going to trade Ben Simmons. But then this happens, and we started seeing some rumors from on Twitter like, oh, they're in trade talks for Ben Simmons and Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
well
know,
then I guess that I don't see the tweet, but Nebu said that they were trying to get Tyrese Maxey out of it,
and just
so that
trade Ben
basically means
Simmons.
that they were trying to trade Ben Simmons and like other assets, basically.
Yeah, and not
So
trade. So that's even worse.
yeah, it's back on
And
the table
like,
kind of thing, you know
yeah,
what I mean? But
if
I think
I'm,
they're going to come out and just be like, yeah, we were never going to trade Joel or Ben,
mhm,
even though they really may have like had him in an offer there. We'll never know, honestly.
we'll
Maybe.
never know. And I mean, I think Ben Simmons will. I don't see him being the type of guy to like go and demand a trade or something. Thinking it's like, oh, you guys really don't care, man. I think they'll be fine because everyone on his team, they all love each other in Philly. Like they got a very strong core, so I don't really see any too many issues coming out of that.
Yeah.
Should be all right. So I definitely think Philly though. Philly be able to give them a run for their money. Philly's been looking great this year. Like I said, I think they got a lot more size on them now, too. Or
For sure.
the Nets are gonna kind of be like more small ball action because they don't even got Karis LeVert anymore. So we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. But I think as of right now, my finals prediction is gonna be the Lakers versus the Nets. And let me tell you, the Lakers got some trouble in the finals this year. The Lakers will have some trouble, and I honestly think if they get to the finals, I don't even know if the Lakers are going to be the favorites over the Nets. I think most people will probably take the Nets. I'm
Yeah,
still gonna. I
that's
mean,
a
I'm
safe
rocking with
prediction.
my Lakers no matter what. I think again, like we'll have the size. We got a deeper bench now.
Yeah, I think the if we get it, the Sixers Nets matchup will tell us a lot because the
Yeah,
dynamic of the Sixers and the Lakers are so similar with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, kind of two bigger guys. So that'll kind of give us a nice glimpse, a little sneak peek at it, and then yeah, we'll see what happens.
oh yeah, for sure. So it's gonna be one hell of a matchup though, man. It's gonna be tough. I think it'll go to distance. Only thing I can hope for as a Lakers fan is that we always see every playoffs where James Harden or Kyrie, for the most part, have just some really rough games, and hopefully they just off a couple games in the finals, we can get those wins, those much needed wins, because every game is so important in the finals matchup, of course. So it's like, if we can get them struggling one game, you just got to capitalize off that.
I think that's the thing with the Nets, though. It's like a pretty safe guarantee that not all three of them are ever going to be off at the same time.
Yeah,
And
but
I
I
think
think it's
three
pretty
guys
easy
can
for.
go off for 50 or 60 at any given moment.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy for both of them, like to have like 2 out of 3 be off on one night though, because I mean Kyrie has been known to do it. So is James Harden. KD not so much, but KD has obviously had his moments as well. And if you only have one guy, if you only have like one guy and both of them are just struggling and they're doing like some PG type of stuff where they're shooting a lot of shots and nothing's going in, that's only going to hurt the team.
Facts.
Especially since Kyrie is not the facilitator. But I mean,
Yeah,
James Harden can be the facilitator though now,
yeah, for
so
sure.
he can definitely take that role over that Kyrie doesn't really want to do.
Yeah, I think they'll probably try and keep Kyrie and KD. I mean, maybe. Hmm. Yeah. How do you think they'll go about the minutes? Like, do you think they'll try and keep Kyrie and Harden off the floor as much as possible? Maybe let them kind of cook
Um, I mean, come around playoff times, I think all three of them gonna be on the floor as much as possible, like
as much as
together.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually how it goes. And we'll see how the rotations go. But I mean, there's at any point of the game, at least one of them is going to be on the court, though. So that's what's going to make the Nets so deadly now, is that they have three top 15 players on the same team now. Well, maybe Kyrie's not top 15, but he's like in that. He's kind of close to it, somewhere between like top 15, top 20. So either way, like you have three top 20 players on the same team.
For sure.
Two of them being top 10. I mean, it's the Lakers got two top 5 guys, or maybe two top 6 guys, wherever you put AD at. And the rest of the Lakers, though, there's no one that can compete with the other guys that Brooklyn brings to the table now. So it's going to be tough, man. I mean, we've seen some crazy teams put together, though. Last time we seen a team this crazy was the Warriors, and they won every year. So
Yeah. It took injuries.
Yeah, it took injuries to stop that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the only thing. I mean, the only couple things that's going to stop Brooklyn right now is whether or not they can come together and really unite and, play great basketball, or just injuries. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely see how it goes, though. I think the new favorite. Well, I don't think it's a new favorite, but the Nets are the favorites and the Lakers are the favorites. I think pretty much everyone could just put in the books now. It's going to be the Lakers versus the Nets in the finals.
Hold up.
Hey, man, if Philly could beat Brooklyn, I'll be hype. I'll be super hype.
I think we got a good chance, but I would have to agree with you. I think that's Lakers probably my prediction for the finals.
I mean, it really just depends how, because like you guys are looking great right now, but as we said, it's so early, and we need to see how y'all are looking in the playoffs, because the last few years, I mean, we know that Brett Brown was the coach, and I don't think he had you guys in the right position almost every playoffs all the time. Like, you guys still made a great run when you had all that talent.
Yeah. Aside from last year, like we've been pretty good in the playoffs.
Yeah. But now, like, you add Doc Rivers, and I mean, let's see what he could do. The thing is with Doc Rivers, though, he's notorious.
That's his track record too of just kind of blowing it.
A blowing playoff series, man. He's like notorious for it. So I could see you guys having like a 2-0 lead or something against the Nets, maybe 3-1, and then all of a sudden, boom, you guys just lose it. But that's the thing, man. We just got to see, because he's done it twice with the Clippers where he blew a 3-1 lead. I'm trying to think. I think he may have done. I feel like he's done it 3 times. I know he's the only coach in NBA history that's done it like multiple times. I think he's done it like 3 times.
Yeah.
Which is not a good stat to have whatsoever. So we will see how that goes very soon.
Did you see the Shams? Did you already read off the Shams tweet of the? It breaks it down like who gets what.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's 3 Brooklyn first rounders, 1 Milwaukee, and 4 Brooklyn first round swaps.
Sure.
That's a lot.
Brooklyn has 3 open spots. What is this here? So the Nets roster with the Harden trade currently: Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, DeAndre Jordan, Joe Harris, Landry Shamet, Tyler Johnson, Timothy Cabaret, Jeff Green. Now, Dinwiddie's still there, but he
that's so many guards, like, and stuff. Maybe they try and trade him or something.
Maybe, but I think he's good to be there for some depth pieces. I mean, that brings more scoring to the pitch. So I mean, the Nets are still a very deep team, though. Like the Nets have a freaking roster right now, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be wild. I think their defense is definitely gonna take a hit now that there's no Jared Allen. But I mean, what's it even matter when you got 3 people that are gonna be putting up 27 a game? Like, I don't think it's even that big of a deal anymore. I mean, no one no one in the NBA even really plays defense like that anymore, to be honest. Like, you see all the high scoring games that we have, like teams putting up 130, 140 in regulation. So it's going to be one hell of a season, man. I wonder if there's going to be, any other blockbuster trades that might happen before the deadline comes. But this is easily the biggest trade so far, through the whole offseason, through the start of this season, like anything. It's the biggest trade we've seen since, sheesh, sometime maybe. So whatever happened last off, probably, I guess, Kawhi to the Raptors, maybe. That was probably the last biggest trade. That was just like, that made a team instant finals contenders. So I'm thinking it'll be Lakers Nets though. I really hope you guys can win. Maybe then the Lakers can smack y'all in the finals. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
So
Tyrese Maxey is going to be absolutely maxed out by that point. I think, if as far as NBA go, he should progress to a 99 by then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we shall see about that then, huh? But you got to go at 5, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it looks like it's almost about that time, but
Sure.
Nice to get a little reaction in. Had a few viewers in here for the most part, so thank you guys for stopping in. So I'll probably be putting out some more reaction videos soon about James Harden going to the Nets, or make a video on it, and can't wait to see what happens the rest of the season, man. So everyone stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. It's your boys from Hoot Network, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Peace and love.